Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I hope you guys are doing great, feeling great. I appreciate you coming and hanging out with me this evening. It's evening, my time, night owl, so usually can't get any motivation to do anything until after 12 p.m., sometimes a.m. But, so what I'm going to do today is just kind of do my makeup. I don't do my makeup every day. I kind of just like to play with makeup. I don't, make myself sit down and do it every day. Just kind of like appreciating my skin for what it is and just kind of love myself regardless whether I have makeup or don't have makeup on. So what I'm going to start out with first is doing the last step. I've already done my skincare routine right as soon as I got out of the shower, but I'm going to do the last steps of what I do before I put on my makeup. So first I'm going to start with the First Aid Beauty Detox Eye Roller. This retails for about $26. The prices that I get are either directly from the websites of the brand. If not, I'll get, the next best thing. So what I'll do is I'll start with this. It's got a little nice metal cooling roller ball, and you'll just kind of go back and forth a couple of swipes. And then I'm going to go ahead and pat that in. I like to go ahead and kind of do like a full C. I'll get it in my inner corner, down a little bit on the tops of my cheekbones, and then up on my brow bone as well. I'm going to go in next with the First Aid Beauty 5-in-1 Eye Cream. This one retails for about $32. I'm going to take 2 dots on my index and middle finger. Now that my eyes are nice and hydrated, we're going to get to the hydration of the face. So what I'd use for this, I love this. This has been just a true freaking find. Like, it is also First Aid Beauty. I'm really into First Aid Beauty here lately. They are fragrance free, other than just like what the ingredient, like they don't add any fragrance, I guess I should say. And it's really good for sensitive skin, which I have. So I'm going to take a little bit of that, about a pump-ish amount, and then also I've got the Skin Rescue Oil-Free Mattifying Gel. The Skin Rescue Daily Face Cream retails for about $22. And the mattifying gel, which I could not find on their website, but I did find it on Amazon for $21.99. I actually mixed these two together, and I have found that the mix of these, this one like hydrates, and then where I get really oily in the T-zone area, this helps keep that matte all day long. Because I would come home and just be like, all slick. Just, it was rough. And like have to take like a paper towel and just like wipe it all off. And this I've been using, I don't know, for a couple of months now. And I've noticed that when I get home of the evening, it's just not like that anymore, which is super sweet. So basically I've mixed those two together. And then I'm just going to go in and pat. I don't go outside very often, but when I do go outside, I'm sure to protect my skin. So with this, I have found, and I love the ingredient, the zinc oxide for sunscreen. It's actually one of my favorite sunscreen ingredients. So this one is the Aveeno Positively Mineral Sensitive Skin. It's SPF 50. This I actually just found at Walmart for like $9.97, so it's really inexpensive. It does, at first it kind of leaves a little bit of a white cast, you'll see, but then as it soaks in, that kind of goes away, so you don't have to worry about that. So I use like a little bit more than a pea size, maybe like a pinto beans amount of product. Kind of just rub it, and then I will do the same patting, rubbing-esque motions all over my face. Got it in my hair. Don't want your hair to get sunburned. I like to rub it into my This is called Scalp Line, Hairline. That's what it is. All right. So go ahead and get that nice and rubbed in. So see how it's kind of like started with a white cast and then it just kind of soaked in. So that's ideal. Got that nice and rubbed in, so I'm hydrated, I'm protected from the sun. We're good. Speaking of hydration, I'm gonna go ahead and get a drink of water. Hydrate from the inside as well as the outside. All right, so we're gonna move on to, I'm gonna go ahead and start with brows. I've never really started with brows first, but I think I'm gonna like it. So let's just try it. Okay, so what I've got is the Collab Shape and Shade. You can pick this up at Sally's. It's the Ultra Fine Brow Pencil, and I've got the shade Taupe. This retails for about $10.39, and it's got just the tiniest little pen applicator. So I'm just gonna roll a little bit of that up here. I'm gonna start here at the front of my brow. I love this pen because it is just so easy to work with. Like, it glides on so well, and it's such a good, like, natural brow shade for me. So then I'm going to go ahead and move on over to the right brow. Now, this brow is my problem child. It does not have a tail. It's like more like a peacock's tail when it like fans out at the end. So I kind of really have to, like, I don't know, like shape it if I want, or I could just really rock the peacock brow. Got those suckers filled in. Now what's cool about this one is it's got the little spoolie on the other end here, which is really good for going ahead and getting it blended out. So that way you have no harshness. Now I kind of like to brush upward and then start at an angle as I'm going towards the tail end of my brow. So just going some very like just natural brows. I mean, just kind of like looks more like, I don't know, just natural. So next we're gonna go ahead and go in with foundation. So I've been loving this for a minute, is the L'Oreal Infallible foundation. This does have an SPF of 25. I wouldn't recommend this wearing like on an occasion that you're going to be getting your photos taken, because SPF will give you flashback or kind of that white cast, because SPF is basically just doing its job and reflecting the light. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm in shade 425. This retails for about $14.99. And so I love to take this brush. I need to find out the name of this brush. I was actually gifted this brush by a friend and kind of kept it in my collection for forever and was like, man, I can't find anything to apply my foundation worth of crap. And then I found this brush and I was like, worth a try. Nothing's worked so far. And I fell in love with it. I absolutely love it. So with this one, kind of for a more natural look, I mean, you really don't have to use a lot of it. I mean, it's about a medium to full coverage. It's very breathable, very buildable, which it claims to do, and it actually does. So that's sweet, you know? Love that. So I normally like to do 3 little quarter pumps, kind of just right around the brush there, just kind of spaced out. And then what I'll do is I go ahead and just then multiply those dots and kind of dot it all around. And then I will begin to blend out. I will start by doing just a tapping motion, so that way you're not swiping away the product more towards the outer parts of your face, so that way your complexion will look a lot more even. Now what I love about this is it actually allows some of your natural skin to shine through. I think I like full coverage foundation, but lately I've really just been into kind of the more natural finish, and it's not super mattifying and it's not super dewy either. It's just like a really nice natural finish. And then down. Next we are going to move on to concealer. I'm going to go ahead and start with under eye concealer. I got the First Aid Beauty again, the Hello Fab Bendy Avocado Concealer, and retails for about $22, but on their website it's actually on sale right now for half off, so you can get it for $11. So what I'm going to do, and I love the applicator as well. I don't know if you can see that, but it's real bendy. Like it just kind of like comes to a little taper, and then it kind of has some give to it. So I'm going to pop that on my inner-esque corner of the eye, and then also the outer parts. This is kind of where I get the most darkness, is here and here. And also just to begin like the highlighting. So what I'm going to blend this out with is I'm going to actually use this little baby beauty blender. It's so cute. This is actually from e.l.f. It comes in a little trio set like this. It's the e.l.f. Retro Paradise. These are super inexpensive, and they're some of the best beauty blenders that I've ever used. They, you know, expand a lot more than like Beauty Blender brand. I guess I should call this a makeup sponge, because Beauty Blender is a brand and these are makeup sponges. So I'm going to go ahead and use the little one to kind of get into my inner corner. All right, we're concealed. Interesting. I'm impressed. Huh. Yeah, it's a little bit more full coverage than I remember it being. Definitely covered my dark circles for sure. So next we're going to go ahead and move on to spot concealing. And this is the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind. It is a multi-usage, so you can use it for both under eye and for spot correction. I got the shade 120 Light, and it just comes, and it has this little like puff ball on top, and you kind of just wind it up and the product comes up. So I've got this little spot here, so I'm going to go and do some spot correcting. And with the larger makeup sponge, mine's filthy, so I'm going to go ahead and take this. I'm going to take the pointed end, just since I do have kind of more like precise spot correction, and go in and just blend that out as well. We are corrected. Okay, so next, it's actually the same product. This one, I didn't mention earlier, this one retails for about, it's like $9.99. This shade, I don't usually tend to do contouring. I've not found like a super good like contour, cream contour or contour powder that I love. I love more of like a cool tone contour powder, but not like super gray either. And I don't know. I need to practice my contour technique. I need to figure out what products. If you guys have any recommendations, I'd super appreciate it. Because so far I have not found anything. I do want to try the Juvia's Place one, that comes kind of like in the duo. They seem to have the undertones I'm looking for, so I'll try that. If I get it and I try it, I'll let you guys know. But what I've liked been doing instead is just doing like an all over bronzer, kind of more for a natural everyday look, just kind of like really bronze the skin. I really am loving the way that's looking. And for that, I'm going to be using the same product, but just in a little bit deeper of a shade. I've got the 144 Caramel, and I'm I'm gonna go ahead and do me a little line there. I know it looks a little crazy, and that is totally fine. Yes, great. All right, and so now I'm going to blend that out with a Morphe Cosmetics. This is actually the brush set, one of the brushes that was in the set that Jaclyn Hill collaborated with Morphe. It's the JH05, and it's just kind of like a short, fluffy on the outside, dense on the inside, so it kind of helps you have control and blending power all at the same time. So I'm going to start that. Now I'm going to try not to blend it too far down, and then just kind of keep it from here up on me. And then I'll kind of blend that and then kind of blend up into the forehead part. Oh yeah, that looks super cool. Love it. Yeah, this brush works nice for this. I like it. And I like to put it right here on my nose. I don't know why, it just, I seen Raw Christy Beauty do this, and I was like, ooh girl, that looks good. I'm gonna do that. And I did that, and I love it. It just kind of, I don't know, I just love how it looks. It just kind of like really evens out and gives like extra dimension to the face, as opposed to having like bronze and then like not bronze. I don't know, really digging that technique. So thank you, Miss Christy. I appreciate you a lot. She has been kissed by the sun. Love it. Yes. All right, so next, where am I? Let's see, where are we? At setting powder. So Juvia's Place I Am Magic setting powder in White Sands. So little brush, little kind of like tapered at the top, fluffy brush to get into the inner corner parts of the eye. So I'm going to go ahead and take a little bit of that and then tap off the excess, kind of do the little tap and swirl, and then I'm just going to set the under eye area and do the tapping motions. Do the tapping motion. And now the other side. Whoa, whoa, whoa. That was a lot. Okay. Still too much. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and go down the center of my nose. And then right here in those places that tend to crease up. And then I'm also going to set my eyelids as well. So I'm going to go ahead and set that, so that way my concealer that I put there as an eyeshadow base will hopefully not crease on me. I'm going to do my Cupid's bow, my little chin area. And also the forehead. Now that I've got my face set, what we're gonna do next is we're going to go ahead and do our second round of bronzer. What I'm gonna use next is the Marc Jacobs Omega Bronze. It's the Coconut Perfect Tan Bronzer. This is in the shade Tantric. This is normally $49 retail. They are having a sale right now. So right now it's only $24.50. So this one comes in a gigantic pan. I mean, literally just like the size of my head. It smells really nice too as well. So what I'm gonna do, normally I like to use this on a gigantic fluffy brush, and I'm gonna use 2 different brushes on this just to try a different technique. So with the big fluffy brush, Morphe and Jaclyn Hill brush set that I've been using, this is the JH01. So I'm gonna tap into the pan, and then on my cheeks. Now with my cheeks, being that they are so round, I tend to put a lot of my product up higher. It's just what looks best on me. This is basically just kind of reinforcing the cream bronzer that I've already laid down. Kind of like setting a bronzer with a bronzer instead of setting a bronzer with a powder, so that way it doesn't kind of take away, it more just like aids in, like they kind of like work together. All right, so next for the more precise areas of the face, we're actually gonna take this blush brush. It's a Real Techniques number 400. It's very fluffy, very tapered, basically kind of like a big version of this little Morphe Jaclyn Hill brush. So I'm going to tap back into the pan, and then we're going to go on along the hairline. Alright, so now I'm actually going to go ahead and take this bigger brush and then just kind of blend out the harsh edges. So now we're going to move on to blush. I'm going to be using the Milani Baked Powder Blush. This retails for $9.99. It's formulated so nicely. They have such a beautiful finish. They're just like so shimmery and so nice. Lately I've really been liking cream blushes, but I still love these. Still go back to these. Really enjoy these a lot. So to apply this, I'm actually going to use a very small blush brush, so that way I can kind of just concentrate in the areas that I want to concentrate them in. This is actually the LA Colors Face Powder Brush. So I'm going to dip into the pan, and then again concentrating the product on the basically the tops of my cheekbones. It's kind of like where you would put your highlighter, but I find that's just what looks good on me. You just kind of got to do what, you know, just play around. Makeup's fun, you know, just give it a shot and play around with it and see what you find works best for you. So I kind of just like to start here in this area. I try not to bring it down past like in this little section, and then I'll just kind of go up with it. And just like my bronzer, I'll bring it up just a smidge. I even kind of do this face. I can't even help myself. But basically it's kind of like that face where you're like, yeah, sure. Okay. To kind of poke out the apples of my cheeks. And then I will begin to blend upward. Alrighty. She's blushing. Ooh. See how that blush just has like a nice like sheen to it? Oh, I love that. Like you really probably wouldn't even need to use highlighter. I'm going to, but. So next, highlighter. So I'm going to be using the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector. It's this little mini guy. It's the Champagne Pop, the one that Jaclyn Hill created with Becca Cosmetics back in the day. It's been a minute. So it's just in a little pan. It's so beautiful. Such a pretty color. I love it. And with this, we're actually going to use the Morphe Jaclyn Hill JH09 brush. Love these types of brushes where they're just kind of fluffy and tapered. they really, really work well for me. So Jacqueline and Jacqueline, we're gonna have like a little teamwork action going on here. On the tops of my cheekbones, now highlighter, okay, so highlighter accents the parts of the face that you want drawn attention to, whereas contour creates a shadow and allows you to create a cheekbone and or jawline and or, you know, if you want to make your lips look, you know, more pronounced, or, you know, it really is amazing what you can do with makeup. It truly is. It's super interesting and super fun. I love it. So what I'm gonna do is just kind of tap that on the very tip tops of my cheekbones, right above where we put that bronzer and that blush. That is so pretty. All right, so next, what we were going to do, I don't know if I mentioned how much that retails for, but it's $22. $22 for the little guy. And we're actually gonna move on to eyes. I'm gonna start with the Milani Most Wanted palette. It's just a really nice all matte neutral shade. They're kind of a little bit more mauve-y toned. This one is in 110 Partner in Crime. I'm gonna go ahead and open it up here and dip into the lightest shade. They don't have shade names, but just lightest shade here. Now, since I have hooded eyes, I like to go ahead and place a light shade on my lid all over. I'm just gonna kind of pat and swipe just right here beneath that crease. I'm gonna go ahead and dip into, and the brush that I was using for that was also a Morphe Jaclyn Hill Cosmetics, or Jaclyn Hill Morphe Collab brush, the JH35. So next I'm gonna take the JH30, which is just kind of one of the more fluffier brushes, and dip into this, what I'm going to use as the transition shade. And tap off the excess, and then I'm going to start in the crease. Now, I like to keep my color concentrated more towards the outside of my eye for my particular eye shape. And then when I've used most of the product, I will then bring in just a smidge. So now to deepen that crease, because that shade, while it is such, it's a more like lighter transition shade, so it's not going to show up, you know, like too much, but kind of just enough to add a little bit of depth and a little bit of dimension. So next, to create more depth, I'm actually going to go in with this, not the darkest brown shade, but kind of this neutral brown shade. I'm going to use this on a Sigma E45 brush. It's the small tapered blending brush. Again, I love small, all tapered brushes. So I'm going to go ahead and take that and pop a little bit of color right there on the top of the corner, outside corner of my eye. And just kind of working that in. Again, concentrating the majority of the darker shade on the outside. And I'm not, with my particular eye shape, I'm not going to bring that down any further. And then I'm just kind of trying to get a gradient, darker on the outside and then lighter sweep on the inside. The color that I will be using is the Bare Minerals Loose Mineral Eye Color. It's in the color Bare Skin, and this retails for $16. I don't know if I mentioned that, but this palette is actually only $9.99, which is just a really good price for that. I mean, it's crazy. It does, I mean, it's beautiful. Like, you don't even have to have anything else, just that one palette. And it's kind of, I mean, it's what I've been going to for about a month now. I really, really am enjoying it. But just because I want to add a little bit of shimmer, just a little bit, nothing too crazy, I'm going to pop into this Bare Minerals Loose Mineral Eye Color in Bare Skin. Now, I'm going to take a little bit on my brush. Now, the brush I'm using is a Firm Shader by Sigma. It's the E57. Alright, so I'm going to take a little bit of this e.l.f. Setting Mist and set it onto the, where I had placed the loose mineral powder. And then I'm going to just place that right on my lid. Now, I really like using a setting mist on with my loose mineral shadows. It kind of decreases the chance of fallout and also increases the opacity of the mineral shadow. Oh, that's so pretty. Again, just placing that on the first portion of the eyelid. Very, very pretty. Alright, so for the bottom lash line, I'm going to take a Morphe Jaclyn Hill brush in JH39. It's just a little pencil brush. And so I'm going to mix these two here and tap off the excess and then go under the lash line. Now I kind of like to place the product, move that around a little bit, and then with a larger tapered brush, going back in with the Sigma E45, and then just gonna blend that out. Now I don't, initially when I go in with the pencil brush, I don't take it all the way to the inner corner. But then when I go to blend it out, then that's when I'll start to move it towards the inner corner. So next we're going to go in with the Colourpop BFF Liquid Liner. This retails for $8. I'm just going to pop a little bit. I'm going to hug up really, really close to the lash line here. So it's just got a little felt tip, very fine felt tip. And then I'm going to go along the top of my lash line, keeping it very, very close and snugged in. This liner is very, very nice. It's very opaque. It comes off not completely matte, but not completely shiny either. It's just like a nice in between. So next we're going to be going in with the Pixi by Petra Endless Silky Eye Pen. This is in shade Black Nior. This retails for about $12. And I'm going to use this on my waterline. And that kind of gives you like, I don't know, using eyeliner on the waterline feels like it just gets more like sultry and like, just kind of like that, I don't know, like a little more sexy. So next we're going to move on to mascara. This is the Marc Jacobs at Lash'd. This is in Blacker. So kind of like lip lacquer, but like blacker. I was like, well, that's clever. So it retails for $27. It's on sale right now, again, same as the Omega Bronze. They're both on sale. This one's $13.50 right now on their website. I've not used this yet, actually, so this will be a first impressions here for me. Whoa. Seriously? Dang. Thank you, girl at Sephora, for recommending this. Dang. This is sweet. Volume, length. Oh, absolutely amazing. Hopefully it doesn't smudge. Move on to the next eye. Truly, wow. Did you guys see this? Bottom lashes. Wow. Holy crap. This is so pretty. This is super pretty. Guys, wait. I love it. Like find that product and you're like, holy freaking moly, like this, love. I'll move on, but wow, crazy. Okay, so moving on. I don't know how anyone can move past that, but we're gonna do it. So next we're gonna do lip. This is the Colourpop Just a Tint. It retails for $8. It's in shade The Strand. I love these because they're super hydrating, but they still give you a little bit of color, and you can just kind of pop them in your purse. They kind of wind up like so. Really have been loving these. I've got like 6 different colors. Love all of them so much. Wow, super pretty. Really love that. Okay, so last step, we're just gonna set everything. And for that, I just used the e.l.f. setting spray. It's the Makeup Mist and Set. It retails for $5, excuse me. I believe that's it, guys. We've done it. I appreciate you for hanging out with me. I really enjoyed this. This is really fun for me, and I hope that you guys had a good time with me as well. Such a lingerer. Hard time saying bye. Can't figure out when to cut it off, so I'm just gonna cut it off. And thank you again, and good night.